Jaron with ALC Network, and this is going to be quite a different video today. Some of you may remember that about a few months ago, like around May, I gave a health update. I was going through some serious health issues, heart issues, some A-fib, some palpitations that put me in the ER, and I took it as a warning to change, my diet. I had been addicted to terrible foods, terrible drinks, just a lot of sodas. And after having those heart issues, it really just shocked me that it was time to just make a change in how I was eating. And so I want to give you a health update. I want to tell you the changes I've made and how those changes have, number one, helped me since around May to lose over 50 pounds. It's kind of a lot. But more importantly, they have helped to eliminate some terrible heart issues, some A-fib, annoying palpitations. And so what I'm going to share today is the way that I've been eating to live a healthier life. And I know we normally do Bible study videos, and so this is completely different. But I think this can help somebody out there who may be going through this or may at some point go through it, some type of a health issue where by changing your diet, you can eliminate it. And so I really hope this will be helpful for you. And I'll just let you know, when I was having my health issues with the heart and having a lot of A-fib, bad arrhythmia where I was having to go to the ER because it was just beating way too fast and you're getting lightheaded. When I was having those issues, a lot of the people that I saw who treated me there, the first thing they said was, okay, well, we can give you this medication or that medication, and that can help to regulate your heart so that it's beating in rhythm. And I knew immediately that for me, that wasn't the route that I wanted to take. That wasn't, especially not the first route. I'm 35 years old, and I knew I did not want to be a 35-year-old on heart medication without first looking deeper into what was going on. And so just doing research, speaking with others who have had similar issues and reading a lot, I became determined to, try to work hard to eliminate terrible eating patterns that was obviously not good for my body. And so in doing that and praying through it, asking God to help me to eat better and live in a way that was pleasing to Him, I think I've really nailed down here a system of eating so that when you eat in this way, it does put you in the best, one of the best circumstances to overcome a lot of issues, especially heart-related issues, and it helps you to lose weight that is not good for your body type. And so let's get into it. What I found helpful for me, first thing that really helped me to get my heart rate beating back in proper rhythm and helped me to lose a lot of weight. First thing for me was eating about 3 to 4 meals a day, and that's it. Now, I know that if you are like a bodybuilder and you're trying to get in a lot of protein for your muscle growth, typically they would say you want to eat at least a pound of, a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I know that's hard to do in just 3 meals. And so a lot of people who are into big muscle building, they may eat 6 meals a day or 5 meals a day, split over, every 3 hours in small meals just to get in all the nutrients that they need. But for me, my goal wasn't to get really big muscles at this point. My goal wasn't to be a bodybuilder. My goal was just to be in the best heart condition that I could be in, and to give myself more energy, to give my body more longevity. And so just in my research and what I found, eating around 3 to 4 meals a day was more than enough. And what I like about that is if you're eating, really, I typically do about three meals a day. And what I like about that is when you just do the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're not always thinking about the next meal. You're not always thinking about preparing something or having something with you to eat. Your life doesn't just revolve around food. And once you get into the habit of eating just, around 3 meals a day, you have more time to be more productive. You're not always just thinking about what I'm going to eat, and when am I going to eat. You can kind of just put it off. And so I've kind of enjoyed getting into that habit of eating about 3 meals a day. Let's see what else. Oh, and another thing I'll say about that, we typically will eat 3 meals a day as people, and then we'll snack, right? We'll, snack in between meals, and we'll after dinners go and snack, and that's really when you're adding in a lot of those extra calories, right? And so one thing that I really wanted to do is I wanted to eat in a way that was as close to the way humans were created to eat. Okay, you can look at the Bible and see the types of biblical foods that they ate. What kind of foods would Jesus have eaten? Things like that. I began to study this. I began to study the type of lifestyle that the early humans lived. And what you will find easily is that they did not always have food readily available for them to munch on. They didn't have refrigerators, obviously. They couldn't just go and just, make a cheese sandwich whenever they wanted to, or go and just find some nuts or something like that. They had to work hard for every meal, and they often didn't get a chance to store it the way that we can today. And so they weren't always munching on food. They would work hard to either hunt and cook a meal, and then after that, they would, wait until they had enough energy to go do it again to prepare another meal. So it was a lot of work just to have one meal for them. And so we live in a society today where if you don't go to get food from the fast food joint, you're going to your pantry or your refrigerator to get food. And that's just unnatural to the way humans were created. It's unnatural to the way the early humans lived. And so one thing I believe in is not munching, not always snacking. You have those set meals you're going to eat, okay? And then after that, no more food. And so for me, what's worked really good, and I really think this has really helped me with not only just the heart palpitations, but with things such as acid reflux, is I don't eat 3 meals, or I don't eat after 3 hours before bedtime. So usually, if I'm having dinner around 5 or 6, I don't eat after that. Okay. And what I've found is that when you're not eating after 6 p.m., no snacking, none of that, what that does is it gives the digestive system and the heart, it gives it time to rest and use the food that you've already been feeding it throughout the day as fuel. And when you're sleeping, it's not still currently trying to break down snacks that you've just eaten. And so you find that you will get more rest. And, your body doesn't really require that much food because it's still working off of food that you had the previous days. And so sometimes it's good to just let the body and the digestive system rest without always feeding it stuff. Let it use the food and break down the food that's already in there. And so, again, no snacking. I think it adds a lot of extra calories. Sodas. Probably one of the biggest things that has helped me to get rid of heart palpitations and A-fib and a host of other issues, dry skin, there's just so much stuff, is the elimination of sodas. Now, I know some people may have soda every now and then. That's fine, But for me, I was addicted to them, especially Coke Zeros, the diet sodas. And, you can do your own research, but you'll find that a lot of the things in those diet drinks are as bad as the regular drinks. Maybe not sugar, but it has other things in there that can trigger bad eating habits from some of the things that I've read. And so I personally eliminated sodas and a lot of caffeine because, I wanted to really not do anything to increase the heart rate. And also with sodas, you'll find that some studies show that, there is an association with a risk of stroke, clots, and heart disease. It's not hard to find those studies. You can just Google it, the side effects of drinking sodas, a lot of diet sodas, and just about everyone is going to say something about stroke, some type of a heart related thing. Just the facts. So I personally have eliminated sodas, and I was big, man, like so big on sodas, and it was hard, but one thing that God says is to care for his temple, right? Which is our body. And so, I'm working to do that. And I'm sure many of you have that goal as well. Water. Water is huge. Wow. I've been drinking so much water lately. And I try to have water throughout the day, but also with every meal. And one good thing about water is that it helps to keep the blood naturally thin and prevent clots. Again, this whole focus here is on heart healthy eating, since that's kind of a big issue among Americans, especially, and myself. I'm working to have a healthier heart. So water is huge for that. It helps prevent clots. It helps to keep the blood thin, so the heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump thick blood throughout the body. And when you're only drinking sodas, that's what it has to do. And so water is the main thing I'm drinking. And I may have some milk or juice. Maybe just a cup of milk or juice per day. So you can do that. But of course, I don't have much juices because there can be a lot of sugar involved, and sugar, of course, will lead to a lot of fat storage. And so for some people, I also, if you have had some type of health issues, maybe some diabetes issues, heart issues, and you need to get yourself in better condition, you might want to try switching to fat-free or 1% milk. Some people do almond milk. I typically will do the fat-free milk. So that's something to consider. And I just want to say, I'm just sharing what has helped me to lose 50 pounds and to eliminate heart palpitations, a lot of other issues. Okay. I'm not a nutritionist. Okay. I'm not a nutritionist. So that means you definitely, before you make any major food changes, consult with your physicians. But I am just sharing what has worked for me on my research, and take it however you want. Meat. That's been another thing. Man, see, I was a big meat guy too. And so I know a lot of people have talked about how when they have had health issues, and they have cut back on all the meat, they have noticed that they have started to feel better. And I've noticed that as well. And so one of the changes that I've made, I have not become a complete vegetarian. I know some people advocate that. But I do eat meat. Jesus ate fish. Okay. And so that I say, okay, well, meat couldn't be too bad, right? So I'll eat some meat, but really I try not to eat meat more than once per day now. And this is something I do about maybe 90 to 95% of the time. I know they're not going to always be able to follow this to a T. I mean, come on. You may go to celebrations and you have things that come up, but about 90 to 95% of the time, I try to follow all of this, and it's been helpful to me. And one of those things is not to eat meat more than once a day. I typically will have it around lunchtime. Now, this is big. If you talk about heart health and how to eliminate heart issues and to have more longevity, this is huge. So meats to focus on. Big one, fish. Again, Jesus ate fish, right? Obviously, it's good stuff. And of course, one of the main fishes to eat, to focus on eating, is salmon. It's a fish that doesn't really have as much of the mercury and a lot of the minerals that you want to try to avoid. It's a good clean fish, so salmon's a good one. I will sometimes have chicken, baked or grilled. Can't do fried food anymore. I used to be so addicted to everything fried French fries, fried chicken, fried sushi, fried everything, fried Oreos. I mean, if it was fried, I would eat it, fried pickles. I mean, it didn't matter. Now I can't do it because I apparently whatever it was that was causing me the heart issues, I'm trying to eliminate it all. So I think maybe fried food was one of those things. So I don't do the fried foods really anymore. Maybe every now and then, barely ever. But so just baked or grilled chicken, turkey meat's pretty good. Of course, meats to avoid. And again, this is 90 to 95% of the time. I've been trying not to eat the beef. I don't really do much red meat. Don't really do much hot dogs, sausage, pork, for health reasons, basically. It has a lot of sodium. It can often lead to higher blood pressure. A lot of these things, like the sausages and the red meat, steaks, it's fatty. It's terrible for the heart. So I'm not trying to tell you what you can do, but I'm just saying this is something that I've changed about myself. And I think it's one of the reasons why I've been feeling better. And I have a little quote here. Remember that once you get used to eating this way, you can train your taste buds to not hate it and to actually look forward to it. And that's really true. Like I don't feel like I'm suffering at this point, you know, eating like this. At first it was like, oh my gosh, what's the point of living? It's like, because once you get to the habit of living to have good food and all this kind of stuff, it's a big change, man. But now it's, you get used to just being normal, living like a human's supposed to live. And you're not always just getting used to eating these fake foods that are not even natural. And so you can look forward to eating healthy. Now I do have this. Food such as sweets, hamburgers, hot dogs, steaks, fries, pizza, or anything that's not healthy. I will eat things like that only on special occasions. Okay, special occasions, and certainly not more than once a week. And so I put that there because I think when you set a goal that's just so strict that it seems unattainable and depressing, you never reach it. So my goal and what's worked for me is to just say, hey, only on special occasion. That way you don't feel like you can never have it again. And even then, now this is huge, big thing. Even if you're going to have a special occasion where you eat something that's kind of unhealthy, only eat a very small portion of it. Why? Well, check this out. Now that your body will be used to eating healthy food, eating a big portion of greasy, unhealthy foods can shock your body and cause an adverse reaction. So good. So once you've been in the habit of eating healthy, once you then break that habit, and if you eat a lot of the unhealthy, greasy, fried stuff that you have been eating, you can have an adverse reaction. It happened to me a couple weeks ago. I was just I've been eating healthy for the past few months, right? Well, special occasion day, and I wanted to have a nice big breakfast with my family. Had the waffle, had the eggs, had the hash browns, all the stuff that you would have in a nice big breakfast, which is normal for people, right? But I had been eating so healthy that when I had that big, massive amount of it for like a whole week, I was having terrible stomach issues, stomach pains, and it was terrible because my body wasn't used to that, right? Thankfully, I didn't have any heart palpitations, but because I have been getting my nutrients in. But you still have these adverse reactions when you eat in an unnatural way when you have been eating naturally for a while. And that tells you just how much harm we've been doing to our bodies. So sample meal. Here's some sample meals that have helped me out with just eating. So for breakfast, a typical meal may be like some oatmeal plus a banana and water. Some people like to have maybe or a raisin bran and a banana, maybe some fruit, something like that. Then for lunch, a typical meal may be like rice, blueberries, some baked fish and vegetables. Simple stuff, just natural stuff that humans could have eaten in Jesus' day. If Jesus could have eaten it, if the apostles could have eaten it, and people in biblical times could have eaten it, I'll usually eat it because it's natural food. And so another lunch idea, maybe some brown rice, maybe greens or a salad, or some unsalted raw almonds and grilled chicken. So this right here is a sample meal. This is a sample meal, and this is pretty much how it looks nowadays. For dinner, I believe, and from what I've looked into, is that eating really light for dinner is very, very beneficial. I think we have it in our culture a little backwards, where we'll eat light for lunch, light for breakfast, and then we'll have a big dinner, right? That's just how many of us have grown up. Well, actually, many say you should reverse that and actually eat, bigger in the earlier part of the day, so you have more of the day to work that off. And then when you get to dinner time, you don't want to eat so much food that you just sleep on it, and then it's being stored as fat, and your body has to work hard throughout the night to break all this stuff down. And a lot of times after doing all that hard work, that's when you have the acid reflux after laying down. That's when you sometimes have the heart palpitations because you've been eating all this high fat, high caloric, high carb food for dinner. So for dinner, actually, I believe let it be one of the lightest meals of the day. And for me, a typical dinner may be like a salad, some vegetables, rice, maybe a few almonds or some walnuts, something like that. Or maybe some peas, beans, fruit, and banana. So something just very, very light, very healthy. Fruit, vegetables, nuts, and lots of water. Okay. So that's what's been looking like. Now, nutrients. One thing you'll find when you study how to have better heart health is that, the heart is a very unique type of organ. You have to be careful to eat so that it's an electrical organ. It has electrical properties that allow it to beat in a certain way. And if you're not giving the proper nutrients, it won't beat in the way that it should. And this is why many of us have these heart arrhythmias and these palpitations, because something often is off with the electrical properties of the heart. And you'll find that some of the most important nutrients that you want for your heart are magnesium, potassium. You're going to want your omega-3s. And so for me, when I was addicted to eating terrible junk foods, fried foods, sodas, I think that stuff is so deadly, and I was addicted to it. And I was eating that stuff so much that I just wasn't getting my proper nutrients in. And so that's one of the big reasons why my heart was not beating right, because I wasn't feeding it what it needed. And so one thing that I began to do is research foods that had potassium, foods that had magnesium and omega-3 that I wouldn't mind eating. And so, of course, I like bananas anyways. That has potassium, so I'll eat. Bananas are like a staple in my diet. Almonds, walnuts, they have potassium, magnesium, so that's another staple. Fish has the omega-3, so that's another staple. And so these are really big key components in my diet. And I have here that you can do your own research on other foods that you may like that have these important nutrients for heart health. Okay. And so that's pretty much it here. Let's see. Fast food options. Oh, okay. Well, if you're ever in a bind and you just got to get some fast food, and by the way, I made this whole thing up for some people I want to help out. They wanted to be healthier, and I just wanted to type out the changes I've made. And one thing I share with them is that, if you just got to get some fast food, you're in a bind, Chick-fil-A, they sometimes have some good options. They have good market salad. They have the grilled chicken sandwich with a fruit cup. They even have grilled chicken bites with a fruit cup. Even sometimes McDonald's, if you're really in a bind and you just got to go there, they actually have an oatmeal that's not too bad. So there's always healthy options. And again, this is not a way that I know everyone can eat. It's very restrictive. But it's natural, really. Just eating about 3 to 4 meals a day, mainly vegetables, fruit, water. And again, the best thing about it is, for me, is that I've been able to eat in this way, and I haven't had to take any heart medication. And I know some people will have to take medication. You may have an actual defect where you may need medication to correct that. Absolutely. Sometimes people need medication. But for a vast number of cases, a lot of these issues that we have, these health issues, can be corrected if we check what we've been feeding ourselves. What have we been feeding ourselves? Has it been natural? Have we tried to make sure that we, for a few months, get our body used to eating natural foods and drinking natural drinks, water, right? Have you stuck with it for a few months? Try it. See what happens. And maybe some of those medications you're on, maybe you can save your money and stop having to purchase them. So I know some people wouldn't want to hear that, but hey, I'm all for being able to do things the natural way. And so I hope this is helpful to you. Of course, pray through it. Check with your nutritionist, your doctors, as far as what you should be eating. But just remember, a lot of the stuff we go through, we can correct. But we just got to change some habits. And I will say this. I've known what healthy eating is. Most of us know what healthy eating is. But it took me going through a crisis, a scary crisis of ER visits, heart palpitations, A-fib, and thinking I'm going to die. I want to see my kids grow up, stuff like that. It took going through a terrible crisis to kick me down and say, okay, I have no option but to change what I'm eating. That's what it took for me. Even though I'm sharing all of this with you, if someone had shared it with me, I probably wouldn't have been able to follow it unless I went through a crisis. So I pray that someone out there can, eat better and take better care of themselves before a crisis has to come. But if you're one of those who just has to be kicked in the butt before you start to change. Well, if you have any health issues, remember this, and remember that you can even correct them by changing what you've been eating a lot of the time. So God bless you. Stay tuned. We're going to have some more Bible study content. I want to just share this with you guys. I thought it would be helpful and a good follow-up to the video we released a few months back. So take care.